Hi everyone, welcome back to the channel. In so many parts of the country, the summer heat is finally breaking. It is gone, bringing us fall weather and a perfect time for planting hardy evergreens. So if you are dreaming of a low maintenance garden that always looks spectacular, or you're just tired of your garden looking drab for half of the year, one of the best ways to do this is by unlocking the power of evergreens to create a truly year-round beautiful landscape. We will show you the perfect evergreens for your space, ensuring continuous beauty and that effortlessly year-round stunning garden you've always wanted. With that in mind, today we are going to go over 7 must-have evergreens that will help ensure that you have a beautiful garden not just in the spring and summer, but all year long. I know, y'all, it does not have the pretty flowers, does not have the pollinators flying around it. However, many feed and provide shelter for wildlife when they need it most. So let's get started. Number 1 is junipers. Now, I can wax poetic about junipers because practically everyone can and should have a juniper in their garden. They're hardy down to, you can find cultivars hardy down to zones 2 or 3. And after growing multiple cultivars in this garden, after 3 years, we barely pay attention to these plants. We've just watched them grow. How's that for low maintenance? There are junipers with green foliage, blue foliage, gray foliage, tall ones, skinny ones, short ones, and everything in between. Juniper should definitely be a go-to for you, especially if you've dealt with the struggles of keeping arborvitaes happy. Now, another gorgeous evergreen that was considered for this list is a Leyland cypress. They are sometimes overplanted and sometimes diseased. And you want to talk about getting huge quickly. Leyland cypress, there's a saying, sleep, creep, leap. You put them in the ground, they start leaping. They grow about 3 to 5 feet a year, quickly becoming upwards or up to 20 feet in width and 40 to 60 feet in height. Long term, this is not the tree for most smaller suburban lots because it needs to have room. Next is the Hardline Viburnum. Now, this is a gorgeous, healthy alternative for the Photinia. So the red tip, the Chinese Photinia, the Hardline Viburnum will have these gorgeous white flowers in the spring. Now, it will not grow nearly as quickly as the Photinias will. A lot of people plant the Photinias because they need an evergreen screen and they need it quickly. Now, it's no slouch, but a Photinia, it grows at a lightning speed. So it's not really a fair competition. But oh my, the Hardline Viburnum with those large glossy green leaves is so pretty and healthy. An honorable mention is the little gem magnolia tree. This is a dwarf version of the southern magnolia. It's an evergreen, has fragrant white flowers in the spring through summer, will become about 25 feet in height, 10 feet or so in width for zone 7 and up. And then to the left of it is the Podocarpus mackie. This one will grow more upright. This is a great evergreen for zone 8 and up. And then, of course, the Eleagnus. This is another evergreen that performs well in warmer climates. It will quickly create an evergreen screen if that is what you need. Next is the holly. Like junipers, there's a holly for practically every garden. But be careful, not all hollies are evergreen. You want to choose varieties based upon their mature size and your soil acidity. So here are some hollies that thrive in acidic soil. So the American holly, the Eastern black cherry, so the Ilex glabra. Now for alkaline soil, top picks are the Yaupon holly, the Schillings holly, Carissa holly, dwarf Burford holly, and the Nellie Stevens holly. Now the Yaupon holly can be, you can raise the canopy and create like a 20-foot tree, or you can let it become a large shrub. It's going to have the berries in the winter that will feed a lot of the birds as they pass by. That is one of the reasons why Remaining organic or as organic as possible in the garden is important. Now, the Carissa holly will top out at about 4 feet in height, but becoming wider than tall, and it can definitely be pruned, to be kept at whatever width or height you like. And then there's the dwarf Burford holly. That is an excellent choice. That will become about 8 feet in height, 8 to 10 feet in width, and it can be pruned and kept half that width and height if that's what's desired. And then there's the Nellie Stevens holly. What a beautiful sight during the winter, especially when you get snow. Can you imagine the pyramidal shape, those dark green holly leaves, and those big red berries looking like holiday or Christmas ornaments? We so wanted to put one of those in this garden. However, with deer pressure and that holly, so the Nellie Stevens holly, rating a C, where A is the best for deer resistance, we wouldn't dare do it. Oh, and by the way, if you are finding any of this information helpful or useful, please let me know by clicking like and or clicking subscribe and notifications. Moving on. Next are boxwoods, and it seems like people either love them or they just don't like them at all. But boxwoods can serve an excellent purpose in your fall and winter gardens because boxwoods are evergreens. Many of them are hardy down to at least zone 5, some hardy even below zone 5. You can grow tall ones, short ones, wide ones, narrow ones. They can be shaped into bowls, and you can do so much with them. They are excellent for formal gardens. They can create a beautiful backdrop for perennials. They are so fully functioning. But since this is evergreens and year-round beauty, they create the structure and the year-round green that many gardens lack during the winter. If you're not absolutely repulsed by boxwood, they're an excellent choice for the evergreen garden because there are so many ways that you can use them. Next is the kindly privet or the Ligustrum kindly. It is a Ligustrum alternative because you don't have to worry about the seeds that the bird or the wind pick up and, ends up causing privets everywhere, especially in places where we don't want privets. So this privet will not lead to a disruption in the ecological balance in different areas. Now this one will have gorgeous white flowers in the spring. It will not become as large as some of the other privets. It will top out somewhere around 8 feet in height, about 4 to 6 feet in width. So a respectable hedge that, who's going to look over that? It can definitely be pruned or shaped, just like you can with the other privets. It is deer resistant. The quart plant that you see was planted 2 years ago. It is now about 4 feet in height. I water it every 4 days during the summer, and that is about it. Okay, so next on the list is rosemary. Rosemary is one you want to lean into, especially if you grow plants in a Mediterranean climate. These plants are very low water use. They're evergreens. They will have lavender bluish flowers in the spring. Some varieties like the ARP rosemary is hardy all the way down to zone 6. However, most rosemary are for zone 7 and above. So those Mediterranean climates, areas where you deal with drought, this one will be a very reliable evergreen for you. It is disease and pest free. Varieties like the Chef's Choice Culinary rosemary, you can cut the leaves and it's excellent for cooking. And so what's not to love about that? The one thing I want to point out is they do not take well to hard pruning. So when choosing your variety, you may want to choose that which tops out at the final size that you'd like. The final evergreen on the list is Texas sage. So if you're gardening anywhere in the Southwest, so in zone 8 or above, you want to lean into the Texas sage. This plant has various cultivars, most of them being somewhere in the 6 feet in height and width, up to about 8 or so feet in height and width. They are evergreen, of course, because they're on this list. But what is really interesting about this plant is depending upon the cultivar, the leaves can be just green, they can be gray green, they can be blue green. But the one thing that they all share, so Cenizo, what they all share is these gorgeous purple flowers that just seem to explode on this plant after rainfall. So this is another go-to evergreen to create interest when the perennials and everything else in your garden has died back. Okay, y'all, there you have it. 7 great evergreen options. Please don't sell your garden short, as there are appropriate evergreens for every garden so your garden can look stunning year-round. Thanks for watching, and I hope you have a great day in your gardens. Bye.